Every November, Himley Hall lights up for one of the West Midlands' biggest bonfire events, and as always, National Express roll out their special Himley shuttles, running from garages in West Brom, Wolverhampton and Pensnett. Tonight I'm catching as many as I can. Now, before I get too deep in the rides, let's quickly run through what each of the Himley bonfire shuttle routes actually do. First off, we've got the 247 and 248, which are the two free shuttles. The 247 runs between Himley House Hotel and the Overflow car park, while the 248 links Himley House Hotel with Wombourne, both mainly used for short hops around the event site and car parks. Then there's the 249, which heads from Himley Gate 3 all the way to Cradley Heath Interchange, running via Pensnett, Brierley Hill and Merry Hill. That's one of the longer runs of the day, linking in with the main bus and train routes at Cradley Heath. Next is the 250, running from Himley Gate 5 down to Dudley Stafford Street, passing Eve Hill on the way. Another busy connector route for the bonfire crowd heading back towards the Black Country. The 251 heads out from Himley Gate 1 through Kingswinford and Stourbridge bus station, finishing up at Halesowen, a solid cross-town link. The 252, that one goes from Himley Gate 4 down to Roseville Vicarage Road, taking in Gornal Wood and Sedgley along the way. It's a great link towards Cosley and Tipton for those coming in from that side. Finally, the 253. Starting at Himley Gate 2, it runs through Kingswinford before heading straight to Stourbridge bus station. It's a nice direct service to wrap up the Himley routes. Altogether, that's 7 routes covering every corner of the Black Country. For one night only, it's like a mini bus network built just for the Himley bonfire. Tonight, I'm taking on possibly the most pointless challenge in the West Midlands bus scene. I'm going to attempt all of the Himley shuttle routes. The 247, the 248, the 249, the 250, the 251, the 252 and the 253. An evening of pure chaos, questionable scheduling and fireworks.
Downstairs.
This is the perfect opener. You leave the noise of Halesowen behind and drift through quiet stretches of countryside. The sort of roads that make you realise, right, this might actually turn into a real adventure. The scenery eases, the traffic thins, and by the time we reach Himley, it feels like the warm-up is over. The first step is behind us, but the night, clearly, is only going to get stranger. No time to catch our breath, we're off for 251 and on to the 249, cutting all the way through to Cradley Heath. This route has a bit of everything. Pockets of countryside, tight suburban roads, and the slow build back into the Black Country's evening traffic. As you pass through Pensnett, Brierley Hill and Merry Hill, the energy gradually cranks up. More lights, more cars and more people. The quietness of Himley fades, and you get that small internal, okay, it's getting real now moment. By the time Cradley Heath bus station appears, the night has started, and it's about to get messy. Unfortunately, as I was rushing to catch the 18 back to Dudley, I didn't manage to film 4756 leaving on the 249 back to Himley. In all honesty, I did take the 18 to Dudley. However, I did not film the 18 to Dudley. So instead, here's a visual representation of that experience. Great. Moving on. From Dudley, the 250 takes centre stage, and this is where the night's energy spikes again. The route barrels out of the town centre, headlights steaming past rows of shops, and the whole ride feels like a sprint back into the edges of the countryside. The journey towards Himley feels like the perfect contrast to everything so far. A blend of evening roads, a moment of sudden calm once you leave Dudley behind, and then, well, we arrive back in Himley, where everything decides to fall apart. I found myself stranded in Himley. No buses for a long 2 hours, no backup plan, no dramatic soundtrack, just me, poor planning, an inaccurate timetable, and the creeping realisation that the night wasn't going to go how I'd hoped. The next route I needed wasn't coming anytime soon, so the challenge wasn't, let's ride these routes. It was, how do I actually get out of Himley without sleeping here? With all services paused, I made my way to Himley House Hotel, for one reason, to photograph the 247 and the 248. Tragically, Heartbreakingly, I never rode the 252. I did, however, get a photo, which is basically the same thing, right? Finally, salvation. The 253 arrives like a miracle. This one heads to Stourbridge via Kingswinford, essentially being a short working of the 251. And honestly, after being stuck in Himley and spending 45 minutes stuck in traffic while exiting the event site, it felt like a luxury experience, although missing out on the 247, 248 and 252 routes. However, there's always next year. Streetlights glow. Kingswinford appears like a hyperactive little oasis, and the route becomes the perfect final chapter. Smooth, steady, and properly full of life compared to the quiet countryside you're escaping. By the time the bus rolls into Stourbridge, the whole night feels complete. Unpredictable, messy, and absolutely black country to the core. Here's a glimpse of the Himley Bonfire shuttle experience. From the bustling shuttle stops to the buses weaving through the streets of the Black Country, each route has its own character, connecting towns, keeping the night moving, and giving the event its distinctive energy. Even in the quieter moments, like waiting between rides or exploring the grounds, the atmosphere is unmistakable, lively, chaotic, and full of local charm. And that's what makes the Himley shuttles so special. Free routes like the 247, the 248, longer routes like the 249, the 250, the 251, the 252 and the 253, all working together to keep the night alive and the crowds moving. It's a chaotic, unforgettable and truly black country way to experience the bonfire. And now, Thanks to these photos and clips, you've got a front row view of it all. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me. From the hustle of the shuttle network to the lights of Himley, it's been an unforgettable way to experience the Black Country at night.